Hi, I'm Jo, and today I am doing the subject tag. I was tagged by Akossiwa, and I will put the link to her channel down below. She is wonderful. She is very nice, and I love her channel. So let's get started. What you do in this tag is you have subjects of school, and you have to match a book to the subject. First subject is English, and you're supposed to pick a classic book, and I chose Ethan Frome by Edith Wharton. I loved this book. It's short, but the print is very small. The protagonist, Ethan Frome, is a man tormented by a passionate love for his ailing wife's young cousin. Trapped by the bonds of marriage and the fear of public condemnation, he is ultimately destroyed by that which offers him the greatest chance at happiness. I really enjoyed this book. You should read it. Next subject is science, so you are supposed to pick a sci-fi fantasy book. I chose Wicked by Gregory Maguire, and that is all the further I got in this book. Did not like it. Maybe someone out there that's read it can tell me, does it get better? It seems extremely slow and weird. I just cannot get into it. I tried forcing myself because it's supposed to be such a great book. I have never seen the musical. I love musicals though, so I thought, oh, well, I would like the book. Wrong. So someone convince me or validate me and tell me this was a terrible book. Next subject is geography, which I never had in school. Probably explains why that's north, south, west, and east. Yep. I didn't even go to a public school. Maybe I should have. Anyway, the book I chose, it could not be set in the United States or the UK. I chose Hemingway's A Movable Feast because it is everywhere. They go all over, and I love Hemingway, and I loved this book, and I want to go back into the 1920s and become a member of the Lost Generation. It just sounds like a grand old time, and if you really don't think anymore past what they're doing and think about the world at large, it sounds like it was the best time in the world. You have to see my cat. I mean, he has such a stressful life. Someone really should rescue him. For history, you're supposed to choose an historical fiction book. I chose Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. I started reading the classics. That's my main love in books. That's what I stuck to before I discovered BookTube, and then BookTube just blew my mind. I did not realize there were so many good genres out there. I think that I was reading the classics because they were classics, so they had withstood the test of time, and I felt like I was bettering myself by reading the classics. And I am a bit of a book snob. I'm not going to lie about that. I can't help it. I am no longer allowed to read the book summaries off of Amazon at my book club because I can't hide my disdain when I'm reading the summary of a really silly book. Sorry. Can't hide my feelings very well. So anyway, Uncle Tom's Cabin is one of those books that everyone should read, especially if you live in the United States, because this is such an important part of our history, and you really need to read it. I mean, I loved it, I cried, and I just adored this book. I know that it is daunting because it looks very long. Maybe if you got a book with smaller print, it wouldn't look so long. But it was worth it. It was greatly worth it. It did not feel like it was a really long read. So, read it. The next subject is languages. You are supposed to choose a translated novel. I do not have many translated novels. I have The Elegance of the Hedgehog, which I have already talked about in at least 2 videos and I've done a review on. I wanted to choose something different, so I chose Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. This one was translated from French by Eleanor Marks Aveling. It was a very good book. I just read it. I have filmed a book review on this, but it is extremely long because I had a lot of thoughts on Emma Bovary. I'm really going to have to either edit down that video or just never show it. The publisher and author were actually convicted of, what were they convicted of? The author and publisher of this book were actually, now I forget what I just read. Reading comprehension, not my strong point apparently. The author and publisher were prosecuted in court for portions that were considered obscene. Scandalous. It was scandalous. I'm still mad at Emma Bovary. For the subject of art, you are supposed to choose a beautiful cover. I chose Alfred Hitchcock Presents Stories for Late at Night. I love this cover. I know that it's beat up and tattered. I buy most of my books used, like all my books. But look at it. Oh, I just love it. That looks really bad. But it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. Not in the typical beautiful way, but it is still beautiful in its own way. The last subject is math, and for math you are supposed to choose a crime novel. I chose Janet Ivanovic, Fearless 14. I love the Stephanie Plum series. These are my mindless reads. After I read something that is heavy, I like to sort of let my mind relax, and I really enjoy these because they aren't too smutty. They aren't smutty at all, really. I mean, there's a little bit of stuff going on. But I find Stephanie funny, and I just really enjoy these, and also I can find them very easily at my local Goodwill. So that's just another bonus. And this is the closest that I have to a crime novel. Those were all of my books and all of my subjects for the subject tag. I had a lot of fun doing this. I am going to tag I Smell Books, and I'm going to tag paperbacks and cats, and I am going to tag Kelsey Jardin. Have you done this? And how many people are you supposed to tag? What, that's 3? I tag them. If you want to do this tag and you haven't done this tag, I tag you too. I'm spreading the love and the joy. I love tags. Tags are like the best thing about BookTube. Love it. So that is all I have for today. Check out Akossiwa's channel, and I will talk to you later. Bye.